Hello and welcome to the Combined Attendance Form training. For today's training, we'd like to explain the reason why this form was created in order to help providers, and secondly, teach you how to use the form. The goal of the Combined Attendance Form is to help you. This form streamlines the information that you'll need from multiple agencies. It decreases the redundancy of that paperwork, and it provides you with a template for collecting information. The leadership of OCCL, CACFP, POC, and STARS came together to design this form so providers would be able to collect attendance information from multiple agencies in one universal way. Now let's look at how to complete the form, beginning with the header. At the top of the form, you're going to notice a line marked Program Name. For this line, simply enter the name of your program. In our example, the program is named Children's World. The next section of the form is class name/number. This line refers to the unique name that your program has assigned to the class for which you are taking attendance. In our example, Children's World is taking attendance for class number 2 on this form. Finally, you will enter the date for which you're taking attendance. The teacher in our example is taking attendance from May 5th, 2015. The next part of the form is attendance tracking. The instructions are written at the top of the form. For this part of the form, you simply write in the child's name and the child's date of birth. In our example, the teacher has indicated the names of her students and their dates of birth in both of those columns. The next section is attendance codes. For this section, you simply enter the code that reflects the child's attendance on the form. Let's go through an example. For a child who's in your program for more than 4 hours a day, you would place an X. For a child who's in your program less than 4 hours a day, you would place a P. And finally, if a child were to be absent, you would place an A in that box. The next section of the form is for CACFP information. Again, the directions are listed above the columns that you will complete for this form. In this section, you simply enter a 1 if a meal was served, or a 0 if the meal was not served. In this case, you can see that Brooks was served breakfast, whereas Alan and Dylan were not served breakfast. Now let's look at entering attendance times. The directions again are at the top of the form. Indicate the time the child enters and exits by indicating the minute within the hour box. You place an X in the box when a child is in the room for a full hour. Let's look at an example. Let's begin with Brooks. Brooks entered his classroom at 7:12 a.m. and therefore 12 was written in the 7 a.m. box. He remained with his class all day, as indicated by the X's, and was dismissed from his class at 5:56, therefore 56 was written into the 5 p.m. box. Now let's look at Dylan's example. Dylan arrived at his classroom at 1:22 p.m. and therefore 22 was written in the 1 o'clock box. He remained with his class all afternoon, and the teacher indicated this by placing X's in those boxes. He was dismissed from his classroom at 6:45, and therefore 45 was written into the 6 o'clock box. Now let's look at the example of Alan. Alan was absent, therefore his row was left blank. Let's look at the unique case of Jane Doe. Jane Doe entered the classroom at 6:34 a.m., therefore 34 was written in the 6 a.m. box. She remained with her class, as indicated by the X's, until 10:22, therefore 22 was written into the box. Jane then returned to the classroom at 2:03, therefore 3 was written in the 2 o'clock box. She remained with her class until 7:21 p.m., and therefore 21 is written in the 7 o'clock box. This is a great example of how to document classroom attendance for those children who may leave throughout the day. They may leave to go to another classroom, they may leave for a related service, or in the case of Jane Doe, they may leave for a doctor's appointment. We've included a notes section on the attendance form in order to document such unique cases, such as the example with Jane Doe, where we indicated that she left in order to attend a doctor's appointment. You'll enter staff information the exact same way that you enter child information. You'll utilize the hour boxes at the top to indicate an X or the minutes in the boxes below. Let's look at an example. Here's an example of Denise. Denise entered her classroom at 6 o'clock, therefore 0 is written in the 6 o'clock box. She stayed with her class until 1:20, therefore 20 is written in the 1 o'clock box. She returned to her class at 2:15, therefore 15 is written in the 2 o'clock box, and then left her class at 4:30, therefore 30 is written in the 4 o'clock box. In the notes section, it indicates that Denise took a lunch break from 1:20 until 2:15. Here are some quick tips for filling out your forms. You may fill out one sheet with children's names, dates of birth, and attendance code information and make multiple copies for the week. If your school is closed on a normal business day, simply fill out the top of the form and mark closed. In our example, we used a snow day. We truly hope that this form assists you in filling out information and collecting information in regards to attendance for multiple agencies. Have a great day.